Franny is very much I wrote for my daughter, and she liked like pretty ponies and princesses a little bit. What Summer really liked was scary things. She and I used to watch the Munsters together, and she liked spooky things. So I did Franny for her. But I also wanted to make Franny very, very smart and like a good role model for her. And so Franny is very comfortable with dangerous things. She's very comfortable with explosives and electricity and surgery and all kinds of things like that. I thought that Franny would be like a character for girls, but it turns out over time that it's about 50-50. I think that the boys like her because Franny is a whole lot of woman. You know, she's and she was actually like in National Enquirer had her on a list of top 10 hotties, and they told me, Jim, this is the first non-human that's ever been on this list. So, and all of her stories are about Franny gets herself in trouble, but Franny does not need a knight in shining armor. Franny figures out a way to undo what she's done. And that's kind of that's sort of the big thing that drives Franny. She creates problems, but she always solves her own problems with with her head. So Franny's been optioned a couple times for entertainment, and at one time, Disney wanted to do her, and I met with one of the writers that was going to the head writer on it, and he said, "Well, here we have this vision, and Franny will be like a teenage girl, and like she's at the school, and she's sort of like the weird kid, but she really likes the handsome boy." And and she's jealous of the pretty girl. And I'm going, whoa, whoa, whoa! You know who Franny's jealous of? Franny's jealous of Nikola Tesla. Franny's jealous of Madame Curie. That's who Franny is. And so I have a very, very good idea of what is important to Franny and is not important to Franny. And so Franny loves science and mad science, but there's nothing evil about her. So, and in fact, in the fourth book, that was the one where she goes forward in time and sees teen Franny, and teen Franny has gone bad. And Franny figures out why. Where was the moment that happened? She goes back in time and corrects it. So she knows she will never grow up to be this evil Franny. So part of it, I think part of it is because I know exactly, she has a very strong moral compass, but she's also thrilled by the idea of mad science. And I think that that's kind of the science we're all thrilled by. Like if somebody says, hey, do you know that aluminum is really good for this? And you kind of go, yeah. If you put a drop of mercury on it, it melts. And we go, really? Like we're really excited by strange science. And that's what Franny likes. Franny's not really interested in the, like the chart of the elements. She wants to know how she can bend them and twist them and create a new one. So yeah, I know what she likes. One of the recent ones that's Recipe for Disaster is that Franny, and this was a tough one. I gave myself a really difficult challenge here because I wanted to do one that addressed substance abuse. And if you look at all the Frannys, all of them address a social issue. And so in this one, the kids are having a tough time selling stuff at the bake sale. And so Franny invents a machine, the Muffin Man, and instructs him to create the most delicious, irresistible muffin ever. And he does. And so kids start spending all of their money on these muffins. People start coming from different places to buy these muffins at the bake sale. And what happens is they start like not wanting to eat their lunch. They spend all their money on the muffins. And Franny sees what's happened. But all of these kids that she knows, she can't just tell them to stop. He's out of control now, the Muffin Man. He's out of control, this robot thing. And he bakes it sort of in his chest, right? So, but what she has to do is give them a glimpse into their future. And she does that with a helmet, and they can see what they become. And because this one, guy had an aspirations to be a dancer or an artist or something, they see themselves they don't want to do anything but eat muffins. Like their future's gone. And so because of that, they can correct it themselves, which is sort of what and I study it a lot. Like in substance abuse, most people, they kind of have to come to the conclusion themselves that they want to do this. You can't really just take it away from them and say, stop doing that. So I like the Muffin Man character a lot because it was especially hard to figure out. Like Franny, I like the difficult experiments. We're talking about doing some graphic novels with Franny. She'd probably be about the same age. She's in that, you know, that weird comic book sort of physiology where you only age a little bit, you know.